On this edition of Big Drive Energy, we have got down the stretch at the PGA Championship. Spencer is in Utah / Mesquite at a bachelor party golf trip. I am watching and in plenty of pain from all my golf bets not hitting, and I am just done. Can we just start there? I'm done golf betting until the U.S. Open. I'm taking a month hiatus till Father's Day, the week of Father's Day. I am so done. Like, where do we want to start? All of my bets have failed in miraculous fashion.
Oh, that's okay. They were looking good. But did you just have Rahm to win?
So I actually didn't bet Rahm, but he was in my one and done. So that just a little cherry on top of the dick sandwich that I've been given this week. But I had Max Homa, who was top 5 going into the weekend, proceeded to shoot 76-77. I want to say he finished tied for 60th. So really strong finish for Max. I think he had more clubs thrown than birdies made on the front 9 today. If I'm not mistaken, his scorecard looked like if you had to translate a school book into like Braille, just the amount of shapes and colors and fucking it was the biggest joke. I think he shot 42 on the back 9.
Yikes.
So Max royally hosed me.
Well, basically, he had a decent day Thursday, and then Friday he was really good, and then had a kind of a terrible weekend.
Kind of a terrible weekend. Like one, if he went into the weekend even par, he would be in last place by like it would have been him and Blocky fucking battling it out. I mean, Blocky did not make the weekend, and we'll get to that. But then Tony Finau, lo and behold, I had bet Tony Finau to top 10. I was like, oh fuck yeah! Like 3 holes left. He was T6, makes double on 17 on a let's just be real. The Green Mile, the Green Lantern, whatever that stretch of green bullshit.
Goblin.
Yeah, whatever it's called has absolutely taken the life from me this week. I mean, if it's not Max, it's John, it's Tony. And Andrew Novak actually had a good Thursday as well, and then proceeded to fire like 75 on Friday. But let's go back to that a little bit because starting with Thursday, the PGA should 100% have played Lift Clean in Place, and they decided not to. No surprise. It feels very similar to the MLB or any governing body when it feels like there's an obvious decision to be made. You just know they're going to do the exact opposite of that. Like, it's pretty clear that they should have played Lift Clean in Place when you have Scottie Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, all those dudes coming out and saying it's penalizing to hit the fairways because it flat out was. If you went out Thursday morning, you were getting mud balls left and right, no questions asked. I mean, we saw Scottie. So the Scottie Rory Xander pairing played the 16th hole in 6 over on Thursday, which is fucking bananas. But Scottie for sure.
That was a complete disaster, that entire hole. All 3 of those guys were kind of hanging around even par. You're like, oh, which one of them is going to make a move? And then the 3 best golfers in the world shoot 6 over on the same hole. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like our bachelor party out here.
Scottie for sure had a mud ball.
Do you want to ask me about my round real quick? Do you want to talk about
that? I was going to ask you, how are your rounds? Scottie just made par or bogey. Wait, he just made par on 17. So it's a laugher. Let's just be real about it. It's not close. Nice hat, by the way, representing the Rose out there. I like that.
Thank you. Guess what I just shot in this hat?
What'd you shoot?
70.
Holy shit. Great playing, dude.
I made bogey on 18. I was 3 under going into 18.
Oh, my God. But a little 2 under 70.
Hit it in a fairway bunker. I hit it over the green and couldn't get up and down. But yeah, I birdied. I lived out a 6-footer for birdie on 1, and then birdied 2, 3, and 4, hard all the way in. Bogeyed 12, birdied 15, or birdied 16, and then bogeyed 18. So I shot 70. Pretty bummed that I shot 69, but I'm pretty hyped. I just shot a 2 under par round at a course I've never seen before.
Yeah, I mean, that is for the people, for the haters, they
Haters are
can
furious.
S Spencer's D from the back. Let's just put it that way. Spencer is still a very good golfer from time to time. Now, you didn't mention the Wolf Creek round. Let's get into that one. What'd you fire there?
I shot 81 and then I shot 76 at Conestoga yesterday afternoon and then
Okay.
70. So if I
So
played again, I'd probably shoot 64.
all things considered, you played some pretty solid golf. I mean, the videos you posted did not look like you were having that good of a time at Wolf Creek. It also looked like one of the windiest rounds of golf you've probably ever played.
It was the windiest I've ever played golf in. But yes, the two shots that I did post were both double bogeys, or a bogey on a par five on that one tee shot that I hit a mile right, and then I double bogeyed that scenic par three because I hit it in the water. So not great. We don't have to talk more about my round, but just wanted to I was like, didn't want to tell you I was 3 under par at any point today because then I knew just wheels would come off. I didn't tell anyone. I was just
Yeah, you just keep
mobbing,
it,
but I think I
just
ended
keep
up
it
like
pushing.
losing money in Wolf because I was always on the worst person's team. Just kept making. My group collectively probably all shot 85 or higher, and I shot 70, and I lost money. Fucked up game.
Yeah, that's when you just got to go lone wolf on them and be like, "Hey, fellas, I'm sorry, but I got to take your money right now. You guys can
I
all
did
make
that one.
double."
Yeah, I did that one time on a par five, and I ended up not getting up and down for birdie and making par, and one of those dipshits made birdie, so I lost like 80 beans on one hole.
Oh, brother. Well, I mean, it sounds like you've played some good golf. Uh, rank your hungover scale this morning. Where were you at on that?
Oh, today no, it's like not like a one. Very light on
Okay.
the drinking last night and yesterday.
That's how I know you're getting old, dude. You're at a fucking bachelor party and I mean, I texted Chris Bame, who's also in the group, and he said that he had 17 Long Island iced teas coursing through his veins at approximately 10 a.m. Mountain time yesterday. So it does not sound like you and Chris are on the same wavelength when it comes to the libations.
No, I played with him today, and I think he had like 12 drinks. It's just hard to do at a course in Utah because they make you order food. I ordered a salmon Benedict. It was fire for breakfast, but I've had like 1.5 beers today is all. I'm just chilling. I was vibing, had a cigar. But let's talk about like in the tournament, in the PGA Championship, even though it is a laugher at this point because Scottie does what he does on a Sunday. Dude, when we were kind of paying attention in and out yesterday and we came in from our round and saw that three dudes were all at 7 under par, like actually a pretty electric Saturday, which turned into a semi-electric Sunday for at least a good bit until John Rahm hit the green mile. But overall, I think a pretty fun major, even though it turned into, like you said, we got Scottie at 12, Bryson, Davis Riley, JT Poston, Harris English at 6. So it's over. But I mean, overall, I
Yeah.
think it's actually not a bad tournament.
No, I would agree. I think that Friday and Saturday were probably the two best rounds of the tournament, which is less than ideal. I actually saw some stuff on Twitter about how easy they made the pins today on a Sunday, which I don't know why they would do that. Maybe because it was so firm. They are now etching Scottie Scheffler's name into the Wanamaker Trophy, the most irrelevant of the four major championship trophies. But Friday, Saturday, there for a minute on Friday, it was a bunch of fucking nobodies at the top of the leaderboard. It felt like we were,
There,
I mean, Luke Donald, it felt like we were at the fucking, what would you call it? The British Masters circa 2007. It was like Luke Donald, Alex Noren. Who else?
Rio Hisatsuni.
Well, Hitsatsune is only 22, so he would have been fucking like 5 at the time. But there was another European tour kind of not legend, but another older European tour guy that played well. And then Luke Donald came back down. I mean, it is truly insane that Luke Donald made his first cut of the year at a major when he's been playing lower level tour events, opposite field events, and fucking European DP World Tour events, hasn't made a single cut. And then he comes out and is almost tied for the lead after day one at the PGA, where it was said
How is he
throughout
even
the
in the
week.
field? How's he in
That
the field of this thing? Maybe did he win
that
one back in the day?
No, he's never won a major. But funny enough, somebody was asking me, who was I talking to? It was maybe my barber Curtis, and he goes, "How is Luke Donald even in the field? Like, is it just because he's the captain of the Ryder Cup team? Like, how else did he?" Oh, that's who it was. Well, Keegan Bradley, him and Luke, both Ryder Cup captains, were pretty well into contention about midway through Friday until the wheels fell off. But I will say, for how long the course was, and then building up, the length and all of that, and how longer players are going to be not the only ones that succeed, but it's going to favor the longer player. I felt like there was plenty of short players at the top of the leaderboard. Not short, but not definitely not longer guys like Davis Riley, JT Poston, Harris English. Scottie Scheffler is not that long of a player, and that's actually where I want to go with this real quick, because I was just talking to Missy about like how good Scottie is. And so he's going to set a record. Well, he's going to be the third guy ever to win 3 majors and 15 PGA Tour events before he was 30. And the other two are Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. So it does feel like at this point we're staring a bona fide top 5 player of all time right in the face. We're catching him right in his prime. So we should just be happy as golf fans that we have that. Because
Yeah,
even
well,
when Live split, we did not have Scottie Scheffler doing those things, and that just felt ultra bleak. Now at least we have this guy that we feel like everybody can kind of unify behind to go on this legendary run.
right. And this one was a big one for him because even though as dominant as he has been in the majors is where you really, make your hay in terms of like being a legend. Like people can win 20 tour events and never win a major, and they don't have that legend status. And Scottie's 2 majors before this were both masters. I'm not saying that's probably the most important one to win and the most highly regarded. But at the same time, even during this prime run he's been on the last couple of years, he hasn't won a major outside of Augusta. So now he's kind of kicked another door down and won a different major at a course that, hosts the PGA, has hosted other big majors. As much as people want to shit talk the course, I think it's big for his not only career, but his confidence going into majors of like, I'm not only beating the best PGA Tour players now, I'm consistently beating the best players in the entire world from every tour.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, if we didn't already know that Scottie was the best player in the world right now, it definitely has shown through this week. I really did think that I want to move to Rory now. Well, wait, one last comment on Scottie. What the original conversation was how much better Scottie is than everyone else, and he is hitting it 20 to 30 yards behind Bryson. Like, he is not one of the longer players, and it's just ironic because this day and age, you expect the longest guys to have the most success, and lo and behold, you have this dude who hits it just about tour average. He is boat racing everybody. He's far and away the best player in the world right now, and he does nothing. I don't want to say he does nothing spectacularly. I think his iron game is maybe one of the best we'll ever see in the history of golf. His distance control, I've said it every week, but his ability to control distance is just absurd. It felt like he, especially on a day like today and yesterday out on this course where the wind is swirling, you're playing from adverse conditions. There's firm greens. It just felt like he was pin high every time you looked up at the screen. Like, it is just something that you can't teach. That's just, he's just got the it factor that he can hit a number every time you give it to him. But now I want to go to Rory because first of all, he's had bad press this week, or non-existent press because he hasn't talked to the press all week. He played like shit Thursday, Friday, makes the cut on the number, has a pedestrian weekend when everybody's like, oh, the lid was taken off for Rory McIlroy. And it's like, oh shit, this is the same guy that's won 1 major in the last 11 years. Maybe I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's not going to win the next one after he just won his first one in a decade. Like, I didn't think that was a hot take for me to be like, Rory's not going to win this event. Hook 'em, Greg, piss off. I don't care about the Longhorns. Scottie almost just holed out his third shot. He's got like 5 feet for par to basically have
To win by 6 instead of 5.
yeah. He's going to be knee knocking over that 6-footer to win by 6. Just insane. But then, did you see the report about Rory's driver being non-conforming?
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And now that was the driver that was like Ubered down to him. I mean, can they like retroactively take a major away?
Like, it's like horse racing. Haven't they taken it away from like Bob Baffert? Can you just
Like
can
there's gonna be a vacant major winner?
can the chairman of Augusta National just show up to Rory's house and be like, "I'm going to need that green jacket, son. I'm going to need you to give that one back. You fucking cheater." Now, I mean, it definitely, if it's non-conforming, that's crazy. And then everybody just kind of like throwing it under the rug. It's like a random drug test. Yes, exactly. The PGA Tour should go full Reggie Bush, rescind his Masters, make him go earn the triple. I was going to say the Triple Crown. Now I'm on horse racing. Make him earn the Grand Slam all over again. That would be great. But just a bad look all the way around for Rory McIlroy. Plays like shit. His driver, he basically failed the PGA Tour's equivalent of a drug test. His driver's non-conforming, so that is basically like doing steroids on the PGA Tour. And then he does not talk to the press all 4 days, and he's supposedly the quote unquote face of the game. Like you can't throw your little temper tantrum. You can't just Rudy Gobert that shit and walk off like you know nothing happened. When did he do it last year? What was it? It was the U.S. Open. He just is like allergic to talking to the press when he chokes down the stretch or just doesn't play well. It's not how the world works, bro.
Yeah, you gotta talk to him when you're doing good and talk to him when you're doing bad. And it's just some sour grapes from him this week. And then when that story came out, I mean, how does that even happen? Like getting a non-conforming, like don't they do they not test every club? How did it come out that it was non-conforming? Did he try to use it a tournament later and somebody actually tested it? Like I'm curious to hear and to find out the whole story of how it became that A, it was non-conforming and he actually had it in his bag and either knew that or didn't. And then B, how it's found out like a month later that he won golf's biggest event with a non-conforming club.
Yeah, I'm also very curious as to how it was non-conforming. Oh, Greg Spencer beat you by 4 shots at Sand Hollow, so sit on that. I just had to pump you up a little bit there, Chief.
Bogeyed 18 to shoot 70, Greg. Unfortunate.
You hack. I honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is and this is a compliment to Rory, he hit the same place on the face so often that it like thinned the face out and almost made it a little bit more like trampoline-y. Like, you know how you shattered the face of your 5-wood? A little different, but similar idea. If you consistently wear the same spot on the club over and over and over, it's going to perform a little bit different than it would with a brand new fresh face. So I really do not know. I wish they would release more. It's like when an NBA player fails a drug test. You're like, was it coke? Was it weed? Was it
Yeah, what are they trying to do here?
Yeah, like
Although this drug test is very much performance enhancing, you would think, versus like just something to make you feel good.
Yeah, I mean, and then is it ironic that Rory has to switch drivers on Tuesday and then turns around and plays like shit? Like, maybe does he have corks in that driver? Like, how far are we going? Is he Sammy Sosa? And that's the thing. Like the USGA, it's one of those where is it similar to like rosin on a pitcher? You know, as long as you don't get caught, you can keep using it. But then you get caught and you're like, you've been doing it this whole time and we just haven't been privy to it. So I don't know. It's an odd situation all the way around. But it really tore me up to see him play poorly this week. You know me.
Yeah, I bet you're real torn up about it. Was Alexander Noren's 76 today the most callable 76 of all time on the PGA Tour?
Yeah, and I feel for the guy.
Couldn't even give him a run. I mean, when you saw the name, when you saw Scottie up there, it was obvious that he was probably going to win the event. But then when you saw kind of who was chasing, you're like, oh, this isn't it. Alex Noren's
Yeah.
shooting 75 plus.
I mean, it really did feel like the leaderboard went Scottie Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm.
John Rahm.
Like, and
Well,
Rahm and DeChambeau are kind of interchangeable, but
let me shout
they
out John Rahm. I'm not the greatest golf bettor of all time, as everybody listening knows. You know, we struggle. But I was, I mean, he didn't win, but I was completely wrong on him this week. I would have bet that he was missing the cut, kind of the DJ Dustin Johnson type of just missing every cut in the majors. Now he's terrible. And because Rahm's been struggling in some majors in the last couple of years, especially since the jump to live. So I was dead wrong on him. And I don't know where did he finish? Did he finish at 6? I mean,
no,
kind of he definitely fucked up the green
I
mile
think he
pretty
finished
hard.
maybe like 7th or 8th. I think Scottie may have just like spiked his putter into the fucking green on 18. Like he just had a little
T8.
burst of, oh, what a treat. My one and done. You know what? It doesn't matter. I can't wait for football season. You know, hockey, basketball, golf season, super overrated. Can't wait for September.
Let's talk about some other guys that kind of flipped the narrative this week a little bit. Joaquin Niemann, top 10 in a major, shot 3 unders today, 4 under for the event. I think he's kind of silenced a few people after this week. And
Another
then
storyline.
how about Harris
Go
English
ahead.
real quick? Just even par, not even in the tournament, and he's going to finish with a T2 after firing 65 today.
That's what I really was hoping. That's what I was really hoping Max Homa did. But he just shot 6 of the other variety, which is over par. So I was hoping Max would have just a great Sunday, backdoor top 10. Turns out he did the exact opposite of what I was hoping for. Another narrative I want to discuss: who has worse hair, you or Scottie Scheffler? Like we talked about this when it's pretty close. We talked about this when Jordan Spieth was at his height of his career, doing the little 3-finger comb over in the front, like trying to cover up some spots. Yeah, exactly. Just pushing it all to the side, kind of the comb over deal. But Scottie, the sun hitting the top of his head is not doing him any favors whatsoever.
Well, so is it clearly Scottie or is it a tie? Can I have a tie with him at least?
Yeah, I think it's a tie. I think you actually may have better hair than Scottie. I may have to give that one to you.
Oh, there we go.
I think we're going to see Scottie take it all the way home here sooner than later. And he is just, him and Xander Schauffele both have like that jowly face that look, I think they're going to be like perfect old men. Like they already kind of look like old men, but they're just going to really settle into their faces when they're like in their 40s, going into their 50s. You're going to be like, this is how Scottie should have looked this whole time. It just feels like, when you meet somebody and I don't know if this is a weird thought, but you meet him at the exact age where you feel like they should be. Like you meet like an Eleanor and she's 65. You're like, yeah, you should be 65. Like you should never be like 12 or any other age but the age you are right now. I feel like Scottie's going to hit that like in his mid to late 40s. Just the most legendary like dad of all time. He's probably going to start growing out the beard a little bit because then he's going to have to bick the top, or at least not bick it, but at least trim it down pretty good.
Go full Sepp Straka on it. Yeah,
Dude,
because you can tell his hairline. There's people that I feel like can get away with not bicking it but shaving it really short. I don't think his hairline, he's got a lot of the same stuff I do, where it's like these widow's peaks and there's kind of a front part. Like you can't shave that down low. You either got to take it all the way home or you got to try to comb a few hairs across the top, across the bald spots. I know that feeling.
I feel like we're talking to the expert on the hairline right now. I feel like we've got JJ Redick talking shooting guards. So it's a good opportunity. Who's coming up to you over there?
Say that again.
Who just came? Where are your boys
Sam.
at?
They're all on the patio.
Oh,
they're all
okay.
on the patio chilling.
Look at that. What a patio, dude. Look at that.
It's
if you're
not
on the YouTube, check us out on the YouTube. Spencer's out at Sand Hollow right now. Another thought that I
I had to
had
make
throughout the
sure that
week.
I was in the Skins game because I think I'm taking home a few.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, get that scored out. Um, uh, Grayson Clothers, they had some wild outfits this week. A lot of pink, purple, light blue pants. They like Tyrrell Hatton looked like a fucking ball of cotton candy out there almost every day, which is ironic given his personality is like a dark storm cloud. But
Yeah,
they had him
they had to
dressed
take
up like a lollipop.
his mic off of him. Did you hear that?
Yes,
Or
he
they were
was.
like, we made sure no mics were close to Tyrrell after he's hitting any golf shots, which is great.
That truly is the
Um,
best way to not get mic'd up is just to say shit that you can't
it gets
hear
you
on
canceled.
TV. Yeah, like they're like, well, we're not going to do this. If you don't want to be bothered, and just say some wild shit, and I'll be like, okay, we're leaving him alone now.
Yeah, well, and another interesting clothing topic. Every Nike guy had the same orange shirt at some point during the week. Like everyone was wearing that burnt orange. Everybody's making a big deal about it when Scottie was wearing it because it was the same color as his jumpsuit last year during the PGA Championship. And then I think Rory had it. I think I forget who else had it, but like there's like four
Tony
or five dudes.
Finau.
Anything now, they all had the burnt orange shirt.
Oddly enough, so this is kind of a weird thing, but when was the last time you saw someone just wearing a plain Nike polo at your local golf course? Like there's all these guys on
It's
tour
not a
sponsored by
thing.
Nike. Yeah, all these guys are sponsored by Nike. They're wearing all these clothes, and I don't even know if they sell this shit anymore.
I don't think so. Hey, I'm gonna hop in the group pic real quick. You can carry this for a minute.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, solo time with Migsy. We're watching this Scheffler reaction again. Not the best dap in the world. No, that was pretty clean on first replay. But kind of the most emotion that we've seen out of Scottie in probably his whole career, even spike the hat. Let's go. Scottie Scheffler. So let's talk about where this puts him all time already. He's not quite in front of Phil Mickelson. He's got a lot more to go there. But he did. I would say Scottie leapfrogs a lot of players at this point to now be probably already top 10, maybe of all time in the world of golf. I don't know the list off the top of my head. Maybe I can do a deep dive Ryan Russillo style and really see where he measures up against all the tops in the world. God damn, Jon Rahm fires 2 over today when he was 3 under through 15 holes. That's just 5 over in the last 3. That's going to leave a sour taste for me in my pick'em this week. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, I flipped the TV to him. I was watching the Nuggets while I was playing golf, and I flipped the TV to him and watched him after he made that putt on 14. I was like, okay, here we go. 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's get to 11. Let's get to 10. And then he made double and hit that ball in the water on the par 3, which he took way too aggressive of a line, hit the ball in the water, and then fucked himself. And then just not even, I mean, 4 over in the last 3 holes is absurd. That's what
I mean,
the green.
it's bad when I told I was texting our mom and I told her to root for Jon Rahm, and she goes, "Where did Jon Rahm's name go on the leaderboard?" I was like, "Oh fuck, mom, you don't need to rub it in. Like he was 5 over the last 3 holes. That's why he's no longer on the leaderboard." So rough betting week. I mean, I wish I would have done what you did and just picked 3 stinkers that didn't even have a chance, and then I wouldn't even be torn up about it. Like you just let your money on fire and you just move on to the next week. In
Yeah,
all
I was
honesty,
at no point I was in it this week. JT, no. Ricky, no. And who was my third pick to top 10?
Patrick Reed.
Oh, Patrick Reed. He was in it through 6 holes. He was 1 under through 6 holes. I thought maybe P. Reed, and then I look and I think he was DFL for a while. I was like,
Dude,
oh,
betting
that was fun.
golf truly is one of the hardest things on the planet because you cannot count your chickens until they have 100% hatched. You're holding them in your hands. I started thinking about the money I could make off of a Homa top 10 and a Finau top 10, which would have been close to $1,000, which would have been really nice. But now my balance in my DraftKings account is $0.00. So just a real punch right in between the eyes from the betting world. And I got to say this too about Max. Like, I'm proud of him. I'm very pissed at him, but I'm also partially proud of him because it really felt like he dug deep for that Friday round, played his ass off, made some putts, but then it really this weekend it felt like he kind of cashed it in. It felt like he gave up a little bit. He was clearly pissed off, which totally fair. We've all been there on the golf course, but
I think this was a major where there was maybe just because it's more recency bias from what I saw in interviews, but I think that was the most pissed off a lot of people were. I mean, even Scottie Scheffler had that quote about the ball being down and being mad. Like, I think everybody in the field was mad. At the same time, I think it sucks that you can't maybe have you could have had like a Scottie on Thursday or Friday when they were getting mad about the ball not being down, but everybody had to play the same rules. I think that's where the complaints go a little blank. Me, like when I hear a complaint and I'm in the fields doing the same, it's not like down and the morning round they were ball in hand or something of that nature. Like everybody's playing the same golf course with the same rules.
Yeah, but I definitely would say that the late early wave Thursday, Friday had a clear advantage over the early and then late on Friday. And that's what's pretty wild about Scheffler and Xander and Rory is they went out Thursday and Scottie Scheffler still ends up winning this thing by 5 shots. And Scheffler realistically won it on the weekend. That's what he does. He wins tournaments on Saturday and then just suffocates you on a Sunday. He's not
Yeah, I mean, seeing the leaderboard where it was yesterday through about 15, 16 holes, and then kind of not paying attention. We're going to have an electric Sunday with Bryce and John and Scottie coming down the stretch. And then I wake up this morning and I'm like, all right, let's check this. Oh, cool. Scottie's going to win by 6. Great.
Yeah. And it's over.
He's a fucking, what are those big ass called? He's just fucking python. He gets you and then he just fucking suffocates you for an hour and then he eats you. That's what Scott Scheffler is.
That is a great analogy there, I would say. Before we get out of here, let's talk about a few big names that missed the cut. So I'll just go through real quick. Jordan Spieth missed it on the number, one off the number. Sepp Straka missed it, one off the number. Shane Lowry. How about Shane Lowry's blow up, by the way? He had a little fit. And then does Shane Lowry like somehow have this great public image when he just throws like a lot of little crybaby fits on the golf course? I feel like is him being a thick Irishman give him like, does that make him much more likable than if he was just some normal ass guy throwing these fits out there?
Yeah, I think it's the Irishman. He's a happy-go-lucky guy most of the time. He's starting to change that narrative a bit. He's Rory's buddy, bigger guy. Like it's harder to hate on bigger guys, I think. I think I've found that in life. Like if somebody's a little bit thicker, usually people tend to like them more. They're a little funnier. They're a little more happy.
What's
I mean,
my
maybe I'm
story then?
missing.
What can you tell me? What's my problem?
Everybody loves you for the most part. Unless they become your really good friend and you just start shit talking them and then they're out on you. Hideki missed the cut by a couple. Ludwig Bear, who everybody was really high on going into this week, missed the cut. Justin Thomas, shout out him at plus 2,200, missed the cut. Ricky Fowler, shout out him. I think we lost you. We lost your mic there, pal. Gary Woodland, Patrick Reed, yep, another guy on the card missing the cut. Sunjay M, Cantlay, missed the cut. Jason
Am
Day,
I back?
You're back. You're so back.
Okay,
Will Zalatoris
perfect.
missed the cut. Cam Smith,
big one. Martin Keimer, surprising, former champion. Andrew Novak.
Koepka.
Brooks has had a rough run at the majors. Speaking of current events, did you see somebody yell from the stands? That's what guaranteed money will do to you. And then he goes, you want to come down here and say that shit? And then the guy hit the classic, oh, I didn't say that. He's like looking around for who did it. And it was him.
Yeah, there's a lot of golfers that probably a normal human being could take on, like the Brian Harmons and guys like that. Brooks Koepka is not one of those guys. He's not a guy that you'd like to find yourself in a ring with at all.
No, he's like, you want to come say that shit to my face? And Buddy's like 6 transfusions deep. Speaking of the spectators, every single dude I saw pictures, you see those pictures of every college girl wears the same outfit that's like jean shorts and like white Vans and uh, a tank top, whatever. I think every dude at this golf tournament was wearing the exact same thing. It was New Balance 550s, which I now have to get rid of. I love those shoes, but I can't fucking look like every frat bro from Charlotte. And then khaki Vineyard Vines pants or Vineyard Vines shorts, which I also have. I'm not going to shut those down. They're too comfortable. But then just some random Peter Millar, Rowback polo logo, any logo with probably the best golf course these guys have ever played and bought a polo from. You got to represent, like, you got to wear your best polo. It's like prom in high school. You got to wear your best shit. But yeah, every dude looked the exact fucking same out there.
Yeah, just the classic outfit, the classic frat bro outfit. So does that mean you're actually getting rid of the New Balance 550s? I feel like
No,
you were
they're
early on
too.
this trend. You love those. They're very
No, they're
you.
too. Yeah, no, they're too comfortable. I can't give them up now. My feet are so fucked up that once I have a worn in pair of shoes, I can't give them up. Last thing before we go, can we just burn down the block party? Can we? And I say this, and he's in the tournament next week, so we're just gonna get Michael Block's face
Oh,
shoved in
fuck.
our
Here we
fucking
go.
eye hole again. Luckily, it's kind of a nothing burger tournament, which he probably won't play well at. There's not going to be that many spectators. He plays better when he has giant crowds around him. Said nobody ever. Patrick Reed's like, how are you going to cheat when you got a bunch of people watching you? He's like, Patrick Reed's like, I would rather play with nobody watching me if possible.
Just turning
But
my
no,
own, keep my own score and turning my own card when I feel like it.
can you just send me out there with a spotter maybe and have them fucking walking around like the 3 blind mice out there, and I'll just move my ball in the sand, fucking do whatever I want. No, but Michael Block, the guy is a meme at this point. He is somehow the most the most, oh, what is the word I'm looking for? Pompous is a good word. The most pompous dude you've ever seen to teach at a club in central fucking California and shoot 15 over at the PGA championship. Like, he had his 15 minutes and he now still thinks that he's relevant. Like, it just sends me over the edge. I would rather have it be anyone else than him.
Yeah, he's the fucking absolute worst. And like you said, now we're gonna have to get him shoved down our throat for another week. Glad he shot 82. Sorry the crowds weren't bigger. Maybe if you weren't firing 82, you would have had a few more people watching you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
I fucking
Eric Van Rooyen bent him over his knee like a little child for a spanking. Because I think Van Rooyen shot like 68 the first day, and Blocky shot like 78, and it's like, yeah, that is golf. But Blocky may have been onto something. If you would have had Rory's illegal driver, maybe he doesn't shoot fucking 78, 82. That's maybe Blocky knew what we didn't know about Rory's gear, I guess you could say.
yeah, he clearly wasn't up to snuff on the corked driver from Rory. Maybe now that's something that he'll put in the bag for his 2 lone PGA Tour events a year where he can talk about everybody can talk about how great he is.
Yeah, maybe Blocky comes out next week and he's averaging like 315 off the tee, and everyone's like, what the fuck? Like when Sammy Sosa was hitting it 470 feet at Wrigley with the wind blowing in. You're like, this can't be right. Something's gotta
Something's up
be
here.
fucked up here. Yeah. So we gotta look into this. Okay, I think that pretty much wraps it up. They're doing the trophy ceremony right now. Scottie, just
There's
inevitable.
always Scotty.
Just it was
Betting him at plus 420. I mean, might as well should have just done that. Should have just sent it.
should have taken the $150 that I sprinkled all over that fucking board and just put one large nut on Scottie Scheffler, and that would have made me infinity more times more money than the 0 that I made this week. So there's that.
There's that. I love it. Well, that wraps it up for us for our live Big Drive Energy. Your 2025 PGA champion, Scottie Scheffler. I would have given him a run for his money the way I was hitting it today. No problem. Actually, I'll just tell you about one hole. This is just kind of how my day went. I parred the 10th hole. It was raining. I parred it. I borderline topped my drive. I had like 340 in on a par five. I fucking hit my hybrid into the wind, not even 205. I don't even carry it 205. It hits in this fucking fairway bunker. I have to hit a wedge out of the fairway bunker to 140, and then I hit it to 10 feet and make par. Just
That
like it
is
was just
sometimes
unbelievable
it's just
shit
your
like that.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You love to see
What
that.
was your face there? Did you see
Oh,
something intense?
Scotty threw the trophy up and the lid just flew right off. Probably put a huge dent in the 18th green, but maybe that's just they never go back to Quail Hollow. Real quick before we go, give Quail Hollow a 1 out of 10 rating for this week.
I think it was a 6. I don't think it was like I wasn't not excited about the golf course to go into it like some people were. But to me, it's visually it's cool. And like you said, I mean, Scottie and his talent rose to the top, but it wasn't just like the Bombers winning this event. It wasn't just hit it as far as you can and hope. There was some good players up there, and it also kind of it just shows you. I think it was very, very true test of golf. Let me put it that way. Like everybody else at 600 just kind of shows you when everybody's playing well, and Scottie's at 11 how good his game is compared to everyone else's. It wasn't like a clown show like everybody made it out to be early in the week and leading up to it.
Yeah, the cream definitely rose to the top.
Yeah, 100%. We love that. Creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme, homie. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back. I'm playing golf on Wednesday, so we're gonna have to figure out. I actually might not be. We'll have to play that by ear because it's like a 95% chance of rain on Wednesday. Of course, the one day I can't have nice things. I make it tea time and 95% chance in the forecast, but we will play it by ear. Thanks for tuning in. Congrats to Scottie, and we will see you guys later this week.
Make sure to follow us on the YouTube at Big Drive Energy Golf, on Instagram. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching this video on YouTube. We'd appreciate that. And we will talk to you all on Wednesday or maybe a different day. We'll see, depending upon our own golf schedules. Enjoy your week, the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you Wednesday. Peace.